You ever have one of those mornings where you're halfway up a ladder wrestling with a piece of warped siding and thinking life couldn't get any weirder? Then irony walks up your driveway in a blazer, clipboard in hand, looking like he owns the sunshine. That's how my war with the HOA started. I swear if my granddad could have seen Camden coming medium height, loafers so shiny you could check your teeth in them, hair parted sharp enough to slice bread, marching right across my lawn instead of using the sidewalk, he would have called it an omen and locked the door. So there I am, balancing on the top rung when this guy stops dead under my ladder, shields his eyes from the sun like he's about to bless the crops, and says, "I'm Camden Director for your homeowners association. I'm here to inform you that you've been evicted. You'll need to vacate immediately." I kid you not. I laughed out loud, dropped my socket wrench into the grass, and just stared at him. The word evicted bounced around in my head with the attic insulation ridiculous and itchy. I finally managed. "You did what now?" while the ladder wobbled like it was laughing with me. He didn't budge. "You heard me. Evicted. You're not in compliance. Join or move out. Rules are rules." I shook my head, climbed down, and said, "Neat sentence, but it doesn't attach to reality." He flashed that clipboard like a badge. "You know, my sister did code enforcement real authority, so I know the difference." Camden's letterhead had a Latin motto misspelled. I almost pointed it out, but I didn't want him to hurt himself trying to pronounce it. Thing is, I own my place outright. Single-story, honest driveway trees that rain leaves like confetti every fall, a deed in my name, no mortgage thanks to years of scrimping and my granddad's inheritance, which came with a note that said, "So you never have to ask permission to come home." I framed it in the hall. "I don't belong to your association," I told Camden. "Never have. No covenants run with my land. Your HOA is across the creek, literally." Camden glanced toward the creek that splits our subdivision, the kind that started with handshake deals and backyard barbecues before the HOA over there got ideas about uniform hedges and mailboxes. Our side always respected boundaries because that's how neighbors should be, not because we're scared of fines. Camden cleared his throat. Said, "We've expanded our jurisdiction. You can't live outside the HOA and use community amenities." Like what I asked. The sunlight, he listed roads, storm drains, safety patrol, county roads, county drains, county sheriff, city sanitation. I said, ticking them off. "We pay taxes." He curled his lip. "Sir, don't be argumentative." I said, "Neighborly suggestions, step off the grass." He made a big show of stepping back onto the sidewalk, then said loud enough for the sparrows to hear, "We can do this the easy way or the right way. You have 10 minutes to leave." I looked at my porch swing, the beveled glass front door, and something stubborn in me refused to budge. "I'm not moving an inch. Not from my property and not from my rights." He tapped his phone. "Then I have to escalate." He called 911. Now, for the record, calling 911 is not a win argument button. Our county dispatchers have better things to do than referee private squabbles. My sister always said, it's like ordering a pizza with extra authority. Camden put on his best performance. "Yes, I need officers to remove a trespasser, violent, confrontational, making threats." He looked at me like I was supposed to flinch. I said, "Put that on speaker," then grabbed my own phone, started recording, and spoke loud and clear. "Dispatch, this is the homeowner. I am on my property. I am being told by a private HOA director that I've been evicted without court process. I own this home in fee simple. I am peaceful." Camden fumbled his phone to speaker and the dispatcher came on with that steel-threaded calm. "Is there an immediate threat, weapons, injuries?" "No, but he's refusing to leave." "Is he your tenant?" "He's refusing to leave." Camden insisted, getting louder. She said, "Removal from a residence without a court order is not something law enforcement does. Do not attempt to force entry or make threats." She told Camden to stay on the sidewalk, told me to stay where I was. Officers would be by. Camden glared at me. "You'll be leaving today. You've been noticed." "Noticed," I said. That's almost a legal word. But I just went back up the ladder and kept working while Camden started snapping photos of my porch light, my mailbox, my lawn gnome, like he was building a case for gnome smuggling. By the time the deputies showed the cicadas were starting up, 2 cruisers, 1 older deputy, 1 kid with a fresh buzz cut. I climbed down and wiped sawdust off my palms, said, "Hello." Camden said, "Officers, remove this man." The older deputy angled his head. "Which man are you? Who owns the house?" I pulled up my phone with the deed scan parcel number. No mortgage, no HOA agreement. Originals in the safe, taxes paid. Check with dispatch. The younger deputy nodded, and that nod let all the air out of Camden's sails. "So you're calling to evict the owner," he said, almost like he wanted Camden to hear himself. Camden puffed up, gestured toward the horizon. "We've expanded our area. He's in violation. He must join or move out. That's trespassing." The old deputy just took a breath, looked at the creek, my porch, the curb. "A homeowners association is a private entity. Authority only over properties subject to covenants. Do you have a recorded covenant?" Camden blinked. "We have a resolution. That's not a covenant. Eviction's a landlord-tenant remedy. Only a court can order it. Sheriff executes writs of possession. We can't evict a homeowner based on an association's say-so. This is civil. Don't call 911 for this again." Camden looked like a broken Roomba. "I'll file for a court order." I said, "Great, tell the judge how your club rules apply to a house in a different subdivision with a creek between, and how you use 911 for leverage." The deputy turned to me. "Do you want to trespass him?" "That's magic, because in our state, once warned, it's criminal if they come back." "I do." I said, "From my property line to my porch, everything in between." He wrote it up, read it to Camden, who looked like he'd never been told no by someone with a pen before, and sent him packing. You'd think that'd be it, but if you know folks like Camden, you know they never quit. They escalate sideways or up, but never back. I started a folder paper in digital called Creekside HOA Adventure. Screenshots, 911 audio deed copies. Even emailed myself, "Reminder you own your house. Breathe." My neighbor Kira texted, "Who was that guy in shoes too shiny for this street? HOA director from across the creek tried to evict me," I wrote. She sent a string of emojis and "want peach cobbler." She was baking one like therapy. I pulled the legal thread, checked the county recorder deed, old fence easement, no covenants, no associations. Plat map, creek as boundary, their subdivision over there, ours here. Appraiser's site, single-family residential, non-HOA. I printed everything. Ezra, the unofficial mayor of the cul-de-sac, had a flyer. Camden left trifold, full of amenities on the other side of the creek. Mandatory membership, non-compliance equals removal. It all sounded official, but their recorded docs only covered their side. Aria from across the creek texted me her granddad fined for flying a flag, Camden making up infractions, leaning on old folks with fake notices. She sent proof letters, emails, photos. Her granddad cried at the county clerk's office when he learned the lien was bogus. That did it for me. Bullying old folks, I got mad. Called my lawyer. Miles guy talks in clean sentences and believes in fair rates. He said, "They have no authority over your parcel. Can't evict a homeowner, can't lien property without proper process. If they try, we go after them for slander of title, unfair practices. Send me everything." Noble, another neighbor, showed up with an envelope. "You get one of these?" he asked. Eviction notice. Camden had threatened to tow his truck for parking the wrong way. On my own driveway, Noble said Camden told me federal rules are suggestions. We set up a folding table, lemonade, a sign that said, "Know your property rights." Kira brought the cobbler, Ezra brought maps. Noble brought his FCC binder. Neighbors came by, some scared, some mad, all fed up. I explained, "They can't touch us. We're not in the HOA. The creek and the plat map don't lie." Next morning, tow truck shows up, Camden pointing at Noble's pickup. The driver looked uncomfortable. Noble said, "You can't tow from a private driveway without authority." I walked up, phone recording told the driver, "You touch that truck, you're trespassing. No authority here." The deputies arrived, told the tow guy. "Nope, not happening." Camden was fuming. The deputy suggested he stop calling people to handle his business. "Take it up with the sheriff if you have a problem." Camden pivoted to mail 3 letters in 3 days, each more dramatic than the last. Then Camden filed a complaint against me for harassment. The state regulator replied with a copy of my own complaint and thanked me for my documentation. Their letter: "The association has no jurisdiction over properties outside its recorded boundaries." Inquiry opened. Miles fired off demand letters, threats met with injunctions and damages. Kira's situation got worse. Her son's service dog blocked at the path, Camden insisting on permission. Miles said add harassment and ADA violations to the pile. The public records request for the 911 audio showed Camden lied about violence and a hostile crowd. Body cams proved otherwise. We sent it to the state, copied everyone. Our street posted a script on our fridges. We're not in the HOA. Direct contact to Miles. Camden tried a fake board resolution, curfews, a security contractor. Arya recorded the pushback, neighbors standing up. Camden snapping, "We'll handle the legal stuff." A guard said they had no authority here. Carly, the bookkeeper, later leaked the contract enforcement bonuses, but only for actual HOA lots. State regulators opened a full investigation. Reporter wrote up the story, "Fake eviction service dog drama." In court, the judge asked Camden what recorded authority he had. He held up a piece of paper. Judge said, "You cannot expand your authority by wishing. We won a declaratory judgment injunction, and the judge called out the service animal violation." Board members got reprimanded, management fired. Camden got a city citation. Arya's granddad got a check and a release. Kira's boy and his dog walked across the bridge in a victory parade. Our lesson stuck. Own your paper. Meet your neighbors. Call your lawyer. Call the deputies. Don't let anyone annex your peace with a sentence. They tried to evict me from my home. Turns out there's a big difference between ambition and authority. And when the cicadas rattle, it sounds like applause. Now let me ask you, what would you have done if Camden showed up on your lawn? Ever fought back against an overreaching HOA or a bully with a clipboard? Drop your story in the comments. Let's swap some neighborhood legends. And if you believe in drawing the line real or on paper, hit that like, share, and join the conversation. Your home, your rules, right.